Welcoming now the Walker family, Leslie, Jim, and 8-year-old Drake. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to see you via Zoom.
Nice to see you too.
Now, you guys had something fantastic happen to y'all recently, but before we get into that, we need to kind of go into a little history. So, Drake has cancer, correct? Can you give us a
Yes.
little backstory of what he has been diagnosed with, and what y'all have just been going through?
So back in August of 2018, Drake got diagnosed with brain cancer called DIPG, diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, and it is a very aggressive cancer that attacks the brainstem.
So from what I understand, that type of cancer, those malignant cells are scattered with the healthy cells right there, like you said, in the brain stem. So
Yeah, so no removal, no known cure. So we've been basically fighting from clinical trial to clinical trials to see, one, what will work for Drake, and then two, to also see if we can find a cure for all the other kids that are afflicted with this horrible cancer, around the world.
and then Leslie, I think you mentioned in January 2019, you actually found something that did work for a little bit.
We did. We got plugged into a trial through the University of San Francisco, and it's a trial called CED, Convection Enhanced Delivery, which is where they take a tiny catheter and thread it through the skull and make it to go right to the tumor, and use a chemo drug called panobinostat and infuse that around the tumor for 2 days.
So basically trying to blast that tumor out directly.
Yes.
And so what was the result of that?
The results were it kept Drake stable for over a year.
I would say that it was a win in my book, mostly because it kept Drake alive and living an essentially symptom-free normal life for 14 months, which is quite miraculous when it comes to clinical trials.
And how did you feel, Jim, when you saw that?
It was encouraging, when you hear of aggressive brain tumors and the grim prospects that come with it. You take any good news that you can, and for Drake, there was a lot of good news. There was a lot of good living, and wonderful trips and memories that we were able to make. And I have no doubt that this treatment extended his life and really enhanced his quality of living.
Yeah.
And also that it could be working for other kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Drake, so you were living your best life there, huh? Having fun? Playing with the Little League? Yeah? Okay, but then something happened around February, March. What happened then?
So we started to notice some changes in the symptoms. His walking was a little bit more labored. His balance wasn't as good as it was, and then so in the normal process of the treatment, they do pre-treatment MRIs, and this one in particular had showed some different activity that they hadn't seen before. So we went through a few more tests, and they ultimately came to the conclusion that the tumor had grown a little bit, and that while the treatment was working for him at this point, or at that point, that there was some new growth and progression, that that treatment probably wasn't the best path forward for us anymore.
Aw, so not feeling so good, huh, Drake? Yeah. around that time, the whole pandemic with COVID-19 broke out
Right.
as well. So what happened? Just at a moment, I think, where you guys were feeling really down, something wonderful happened. Tell me about that.
We were, it was a pretty low moment with Drake not being able to walk and crawling around the house and, feeling nauseous, throwing up every morning. And then, we're all schooling from home. And so all of that at the same time as Drake feeling bad.
The pandemic.
Yeah, it was just a lot.
Mhm.
And there was a particularly low moment where Drake was outside and I was outside with him trying to get him to use the walker, trying to get him to just walk around the backyard because he just wasn't. But he was doing it. He was walking around the backyard and he just all of a sudden got very tired and he wanted to sit down. And he said, "I don't want to try anymore." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he said, "I don't want to kill the tumor anymore." And I'd never heard him say that or speak like that. He's always been very cooperative and a fighter and never complaining. And so I thought, wow, okay, this is a pretty low moment. And around that time, Drake's baseball coach reached out to me via text message and just asking me, "Hey, how's Drake doing? And has he been outside swinging the bat or anything like that?" And so I began to tell him, kind of just what was happening. And he said, "What can we do? Is there something we could do to lift his spirits?" And he said, "You know what? What if we organized a drive-by parade for him?" And I thought, oh, wow, well, that would be really awesome. Something that he would really enjoy. So what I thought was just going to be a parade of his teammates turned into quite the event. And as his second grade classroom was involved, then it got the entire school got word. The Little League, girls softball, the city of El Segundo, our church, our personal friends, our friends that don't even live here, and live in other cities, they all got involved. And it was a parade that lasted 32 minutes.
Wow. I understand the fire department even got involved.
Oh, yeah. The El Segundo Fire was involved. El Segundo Police Department came. It was truly an outpouring of love and support for us.
And so, Drake, how did that make you feel when you saw all those people show up for you?
And
Yeah? Were you happy? Can you show me what you
Yeah.
did when they drove by?
Wave at all of them with a big
Did you
smile.
wave or did you say?
Did you do this? Yeah? Can I get a wave?
Can you wave better?
Hi. Hey, there you go. Aw. Well, how did that make you guys feel as parents to see the community show their support for
It-
y'all?
It was, for me, it was emotional just to
Extremely emotional.
see the support and the love. It's tough at times to see, not only your child battling cancer, but to have struggles where, he doesn't know if he wants to keep fighting and it's just weary. So it was just a really cool moment for us to realize that we're not in this alone, that even though we're isolated in our home and we're still being held up by the community and supported and loved. And it was just really cool to see that effect on Drake as well, to see his spirits lifted, to see the big smiles and the waves, and it just kept going. Like there was almost no end to the support and the love that people were showing. It was just, car after car, family after family, the most elaborate signs, just lifting Drake's spirits. And each new face he saw, he had a smile and a wave for all of them. He was happy to see each person and each family that came to see us in that parade. And it was just a really cool moment to experience as a family, and as a part of this community. It's really a prideful moment, and take pride in the fact that you live in such a wonderful community that would be willing to go out of their way to support you and lift your spirits and show you that you're loved.
Did you count the cars, Drake?
No.
No? Too many cars to count, huh? So is Drake going through any kind of medical treatments at this time?
Yeah, so once we were done with the trial at UCSF, he was still having some symptoms, so we got put on a steroid regimen for Drake, and that actually did a really good job lessening his symptoms. His balance is quite a bit better now. No more of the nausea. And then from there, we got him into an additional clinical trial called ONC201, and that's done through Chalk Children's Hospital in Orange County. And that trial is quite a bit less invasive than the one up in San Francisco. There's no surgery. There's no, obviously no flying. And it basically entails him taking a couple of pills once a week. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing that. And then in addition to the ONC201, which has been described as a little bit more of a slower acting treatment. Mm-hmm. They wanted to make sure that they were able to keep his symptoms that he was facing down. And so they started him on a every other week dose of Avastin, which they infuse, and seems to be working so far for him. He's got lots of energy. We've been going on nightly walks around town, and he's in the backyard jumping on the trampoline.
What, Drake? You're jumping on a trampoline? Any final thoughts on this amazing parade?
Yeah, we just want to give our heartfelt thanks to everyone who was involved in putting it on. Coach Jack, Coach Nick. We want to thank everyone who participated, the Little League, everyone in the city, particularly the fire department, bringing their big old trucks around. That was so cool. And then also the El Segundo Police Department. Drake's an honorary police officer, so it's always an exciting moment for him when he gets to see his partners out there, and he likes to encourage them to get out there and catch the bad guys, probably just as much as they're encouraging him.
I'm scared, Drake. Just don't pull over a little gray Prius if you see it going a little too fast down Imperial, okay? Just let it go. Yeah? Can I get a thumbs up on that?
Thumbs up?
He's not. What a good police officer. Oh, there's a thumbs up. Y'all saw it. Okay. Any final words, Leslie?
I think I just want to also echo what Jim was saying. A huge heartfelt thanks to our community, to our friends, to our church, and all of our supporters during this time. The support from them is everything to us. And we truly thank you for loving us.
Well, thank you, Walker family, for sharing such a bright story during these difficult times. And our hearts go out to all of you as well, for sure. As I'm sure the rest of the community's hearts are with you as well. So thank you again.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And don't forget to check out elsegundo.org for all the latest and accurate information on COVID-19.